Julie Ryan, noted psychic and medical intuitive, is ready to answer your personal questions, even those you never knew you could ask. For more than 20 years, as she's developed and refined her intuitive skills, Julie used her knowledge as a successful inventor and businesswoman to help others. Now, she wants to help you grow, heal, and get the answers you've been longing to hear. Do you have a question for someone who's transitioned? Do you have a medical issue? What about your pet's health or behavior? Perhaps you have a loved one who's close to death and you'd like to know what's happening. Are you on the path to fulfill your life's purpose? No matter where you are in the world, take a journey to the other side and ask Julie Ryan.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Ask Julie Ryan Show. I'm Julie, your host, and I'm so delighted you could join us this evening. My intention in doing this show is to provide information, insight, and comfort to people all around the world by helping to answer life's unanswerable questions. We have a boatload of callers on hold tonight already, so we will get to them. And before we do, I have a special guest that's joining us for a couple of minutes here as we start the show, and his name's Brandon Beachum. Hi, Brandon.
Hello, hello. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I am wonderful, so pleased to be here. Thanks for having me.
You bet. I was on Brandon's show. I guess we taped it last week, right, Brandon?
Yeah, I believe we did. I want to say we taped it a little over a week ago, and it was just released less than 24 hours ago, actually.
Right. So I wanted Brandon to tell all of you about his show and just introduce him to you, and so you can find out what a fabulous guy he is, like I did. We had a ball when he was interviewing me. I think our brains think a lot alike. He's an entrepreneur like I am, and so I swear we could have gone down about 50 million rabbit holes, didn't we, Brandon?
As I like to put it, I definitely feel we are hatched from the same cosmic egg. And, I think everyone's had that experience where you cross paths with someone who there's so much overlap and sort of the type of personality you are. It's like that instant, deep sense of familiarity. And, it's always such a joy to have that sort of experience, because it doesn't always happen with my guests, from time to time. But, we definitely had a great time. And, would you just like me to tell them a little bit, Julie, about the show? Okay.
About your show, about the show we taped, and about what else you have going on, and a little bit about you, just so they can know where to find you and find the show.
Sure. Yeah. So, as you mentioned, my name is Brandon Beachum. I have been doing a show for a little over 4 years called the Positive Head Podcast. And the aim of the show is to really help people, starting with myself, to maintain an elevated vibration. So I do 5 episodes a week. Sometimes other podcasters look at me like I'm crazy, doing 5 episodes a week. But it really, it's helped a lot with that aim of maintaining an elevated vibration. Each day I get to start my day with, okay, what's bubbling up for me? What intuitively wants to come through? What lessons am I learning? And we really kind of sift through, I refer to it as spiritual alchemy, as the art of sifting and shifting perspectives until love emerges. And you get to the perspective of viewing things from the perspective of higher self, whatever you want to call it, right? And I refer to it as higher self. And, as we sort of take on that view of life is happening, isn't happening to us, it's happening for us and through us, then you start treating everything as the gift that it really is. And, of course, finding those lumps of coal and learning how to transmute them into diamonds. So I will, with Positive Head, each morning it's okay, what wants to come through? Maybe I get questions from listeners, whatever's bubbling up in my own life, and just sort of freestyle what wants to come through that day. That's Monday and Tuesday. On Wednesday is what I call a soul share interview, which Julie was the soul share last week, or it just was released yesterday, episode 961. So I've done quite a few at this point. And then Thursday, similar to Monday and Tuesday, and then Friday is sort of a fan takeover. We call it the P-Head Posse, and people who have been affected by the show. It's helped to shift their perspectives, and that, of course, is the thing that has fueled me the most to continue doing it, is getting that feedback of, I found the show through XYZ, maybe sometimes they just search the word positive and they get sort of locked into it. And because it's such a regular broadcast, I think it really helps to rewire, these neural networks and start seeing things from a perspective that as I always say with this sort of stuff, for some people can be, pretty woo-woo or out there, from someone who has a more traditional perspective. I always say just, when you sort of examine a lot of this stuff, Julie, as you know, you approach it, and I always say just if you approach it with an open mind, then apply the ideas and perspectives and see for yourself. And once you do that, buckle up your seatbelt, because I find applying these perspectives on, the ultimate nature of reality and the intrinsic oneness of all things, and life is happening for me, not to me. Once I started applying those things in my own life many, many years ago, I, really saw major benefits, and have seen that ripple to so many others. So I think the proof for all of it is in the results that are achieved, right? So yeah, that's essentially what I've been doing for a little over 4 years with Positive Head. And of course, you can find the Positive Head podcast anywhere that has podcasts. You can go to positivehead.com. You can get, of course, iTunes or Spotify or SoundCloud or, anywhere, any of the podcast apps, free podcast apps that you can get on your smartphone, and just search Positive Head and it'll come right up. And, the other thing that you referenced, Julie, is I'm just in the process, very close to launching a new show, which is moving from strictly audio to a video production, late night style variety talk show, if you will, but all consciousness related, right? All this sort of stuff that we love to talk about, so if you think of a traditional late night style show, but all these sorts of topics, these, guests like Julie Ryan, and of course, starting with an opening monologue, then the main guest comes out. Then at one point, I'm going to be doing retreats at this 6,000 square foot property in Venice, California, which, by the way, guys, I'm in Orange County, just outside of Los Angeles right now. And
tell them what you're calling the retreat place. I love this.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So the new show is going to be called Optimistic, spelled MYSTIC, right? And so the property that we're going to be filming it out of is going to be called the Mystic Manor. So it's a 6,000 square foot house. It looks like an alien ship that landed in Venice, which is already sort of this very transformational hub. A lot of spiritual energy is bubbling up there. A lot of people doing, incredible in this sort of field. And so, my view is it will be a transformational hub, and each Saturday night, 37 episodes from July 2019 to July 2020, we'll be filming with a live audience of 25 to 30 people. It'll conclude with live musical performance like you would normally see on a late night style show. There'll be some visionary art painting that goes on, and we're going to have retreats at the actual property itself. So the retreat guests and fans of the show get to actually come out for about 10 to 15 minutes of the segment and be on it with the interviewee and everyone else who's on it for that particular episode. So I'm really looking to kind of bring the fan and listener into the show itself. So that's very, very exciting. And more details on that you can find on optimistic.tv. That will be, where it'll be released and all those things, and the retreats and all the good stuff about it is there. So yeah, Julie, a lot going on. Obviously, transitioning from a podcast, which I've gotten very comfortable with over 4+ years, and then as we all want to do, we want to stretch those wings and become our next greatest and grandest version of ourselves. And so for me, that is, stretching into, okay, let me come out from behind. I can't podcast in my pajamas anymore. I'm going to be out in front of the camera, and there's going to be a live audience, but it's going to be very cozy in an intimate setting. Unlike, more of a traditional studio setting, it's going to be out of this property that I'm living in, and retreats are happening in, and, a lot of activity. I see it as, it will definitely become, I envision it becoming a vortex of just transformational goodness in Venice Beach. So
terrific. And we're trying to figure out a time for a date for me to come out. We had talked about that earlier this afternoon,
Yes.
so that'll be fun too. I'll get to go out and visit the newlyweds, my son Jonathan,
Yes.
and new bride Mallory in LA. So that'll be fun as well. So, well, Brandon, thanks so much for taking the time to join us this evening, and of course for having me on your show. Everybody, I'm going to post all that information and a link on social media, so you'll be able to find it easily. And it was a really far-reaching interview. We covered a lot of stuff on that show.
Did.
So
we went
almost
2 hours.
We did. So it was terrific. Okay. Well, thanks so much, Brandon. Good luck with everything.
Thank you so much. It was a pleasure to swing by here, and I look forward to co-creating more magic with you on Optimistic in the very near future.
All righty. Sounds good. Take care.
Take care.
Bye-bye. All righty. Let's go to our callers, and let's see who we've got. I believe our first caller, let me see here, is Pam. So, Pam. Hi, Pam. Hi,
Okay.
Pam.
Hi.
Are you there? Hi.
Yeah.
How are you?
I'm here. I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. Please tell everybody where you're calling from.
Oh, Galena, Ohio, right outside of Columbus, Ohio.
All right. And full disclosure, everybody, I've known Pam for most of my life. She was my mom's secretary and beloved not only by my mother, but also by our whole family for decades, Pam, right? You were what? You were 5 when my mom hired you, is that right?
Yeah, 5. I was 5. I'm so glad you remember that. Yeah.
You were just very advanced. You could
I was.
read and write and use the computer and type.
I was in school, and I was running the school from kindergarten. That's correct.
My mom was a principal of a Catholic grade school, and Pam was her right hand and really helped keep everything afloat. You guys had a bunch of kids and a bunch of faculty. How big was that school at its height?
We did. We had over between 500 and 600 kids.
Mm-hmm. And how many faculty members?
40 to 50, 60, somewhere. Yeah.
Oh, it's a big operation.
Yeah, it's not that way anymore. No. Mm-mm.
I know. Well, terrific.
Yeah,
well, you got a question for me?
I sure do. 10 years ago, I was at work, and I had a terrible pain, and it ended up being, to my surprise, a kidney stone. And I have been treated by a wonderful doctor for 10 years, a urologist, and that stinker moved to Cleveland. And so
the doctor.
And things were going well. He was figuring out different things I could do to help so I wouldn't get him as much or at all for a long time. And then 3 years ago, I had real bad ones, and they had gone through my back, and he did it and everything. And anyway, then he decided some other stuff I should do, and I did, and I hadn't had any problems. So whenever you're for my checkup, and he said, whatever you're doing, keep it up because it's working. Well, then I got this letter that he's moved to Cleveland. So there's a lot of them in a practice, and I had to go another one. And I had a very terribly troubling experience with him about 3 weeks ago. And I had I found out I have 4 kidney stones right now, 2 in each kidney. And in each kidney, one of them is really big. So there's a big one and a big one. And I went in for a lithotripsy, which they blasted. And I went for my checkup, which I couldn't even get a follow-up for 3 weeks. And when I went, he very bluntly said, it's still there. And I went, what? Because I've had lithotripsies before. And anyway, it ended up, I won't go through all that. But now I don't know what to do. I have gone ahead and gone to another place, and I have an appointment coming up next Tuesday, which I'm worried about. But, I'm going to meet a new doctor and decide. But I'm worried about what's going to happen with these kidney stones because I had terrible pain afterwards, and it was awful. He didn't put a stent in, and it's been horrible, and I don't know what to do. I need help. That's what
After the lithotripsy, he didn't put a stent in?
He did not.
Oh, jeez. All right. Why did he talk to you about lasering them?
No. I've never heard of that.
Yeah, that seems to be what I've heard of for the past several years. Was this at Ohio State?
No, but that's where I'm going now.
Yeah.
This was through Ohio Health, and it was their big organization. But
Yeah.
for urologists. But now I have an appointment with Ohio State.
Yeah, you want to. The laser is normally what they do. I don't hear about lithotripsy so much anymore. I hear about going in with a laser and they just blast them. But what I'm going to do, Pam, do you have a TV on in the background by any chance?
Yeah, you want me to turn it off?
Yeah, that would be great because I'm hearing the noise, the interference.
It's off.
All right, thanks. So I'm going to get you on my radar. How I do this, Pam, and everybody listening, is I raise my vibrational level to the level of spirit, because we're all spirits attached to a body, and when we're attached to a body living a human life, we vibrate more slowly just because the body has mass. So by raising my vibrational level, I turn it on and off at will, I am able to connect with any spirit, alive or deceased. And I've been told I'm like a human MRI. So there you go, Pam. I'm like a human MRI.
Right? Okay.
No, it's not going to hurt. But I'm going to connect to you. I'm watching a laser beam come from my body here in Birmingham, Alabama. Sweet home, Alabama, girl.
Sweet
and
home,
it's coming
Alabama.
up. That's right. Coming up, and it's going to hook into you in Columbus. And then I've got a hologram of you in my mind's eye. I'm shooting energy from your feet up through the top of your head. The hologram that is you is being turned around to the back. All right, so it's gone to your right kidney first. So I can see that. I can see the stone. All right, so you're not in pain now. It doesn't look inflamed. I can just see the big kidney stones in there. Is that right?
That's correct.
Okay. All right. Because I'm not seeing inflammation. It's not in your ureter, and that's where it hurts. That's when it really. Right. And I know you've had 3 daughters, so is it true that kidney stone pain is worse than labor pain?
Oh, 1,000 times.
Really?
Oh.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. So I'm lasering it. I'm doing a healing on you right now, and I'm just pummeling the daylights out of those stones. I can see one good size one. I see two or three other smaller ones on the right side, Pam.
Oh.
So I'm getting those blasted. The big one's the issue. If I'm sure they're going to want to laser this when you go to that new doctor. All right, let me look on the other side. Same thing. You have a couple that are pretty good size on the left side is what I'm seeing. They're not as big as the one on the right. I don't know if that correlates with what they've seen on your scans when they've done them at the doctor's office, but I'm getting those pummeled too. And then they turn into dust, and you're just going to pee out the dust. So here's how healings happen, energetic healings. They're healed on the energetic field. Now it's up to the body to catch up with it. Sometimes there will be an immediate remedy, for lack of a better word, where it's just fixed and the stones don't show up anymore. Sometimes it takes days, weeks, months for that healing to assimilate with the body. Sometimes you need extra help from a human procedure to help facilitate the healing that's just happened on an energetic level. Any one of those outcomes, it's really fun when the kidney stones are gone and the docs are going, what the heck? So here's what you want to say if that happens.
I was thinking about that.
You can say, I have a friend who's doing voodoo medicine on me, and, the docs just go, okay, fine. Just tell her to keep it up. But let me know what happens on that.
Oh,
but you want to talk to them about lasering them. They just go in and they pummel them, and it's handled. So I think you're going to be just fine. I think they're going to be able to get out of there without causing you any pain as far as them moving.
Well, yeah. I hope so. I just don't want them to have to go on my back again. That's what I don't want to go through again. That was horrible.
I understand. Okay. Yeah. All right. Well, keep me posted. Thanks for calling in.
I will, Julie. Thank you so much.
Okay.
It was nice talking to you.
Take care.
I'll be talking to you again. Okay.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye.
All righty. Let's see who's next. I believe our next caller is Mary. Hi, Mary. Hi, Mary.
Hey, Julie. Thank you so much for taking my call.
You're welcome. Please tell everybody where you're calling in from.
I'm calling from sunny and warm Minneapolis, Minnesota tonight.
How warm is warm?
I think it's 70.
Ooh.
Which is pretty warm for us, although we've been at high 80s already this year. But it's a beautiful evening here. And I love your show, and I loved your guest.
Oh, Brandon. Yeah, he's terrific. That interview is really, we had a ball doing it, and we covered so many different subjects. And I'm looking at the clock when I was doing it. I was thinking, okay, we're over an hour. We went for almost 2 hours. So,
it's going to be great. I can't wait to listen to it. Tonight I'm wondering if I could ask a question on behalf of a friend.
Sure, absolutely.
Okay. All right. My friend's husband, his name is Dave, had an aortic tear last September. Super scary, and he survived. He has been a perfect patient in doing everything with the cardiologist and his doctors. He's a wonderful man, 60, loving wife, son who's getting married next year. And he's been through the cardiac rehab and everything else, but there's a little mystery now, and it is weight won't release. He's been following for the last 4 weeks, down to the certain number of peanuts per meal, everything that the dietitian assigned, he's doing. And he had some trouble with water weight in the legs, and it wouldn't clear with multiple rounds of Lasix and things. And again, this man is a compliant patient and, got great support at home. I think there's some suspect, is he on the wrong medication or the wrong dose of these post-cardiac incident medications, or is something else the problem? He's had multiple tests to check the heart. There is, according to the testing, no heart failure, but sometimes the symptoms present as that. And I'm wondering if you could take a peek.
Okay. So did he have surgery, Mary, or they just have been watching him to help him heal on his own?
Oh, yes. He had major surgery. No, he was in ICU. It was almost death. I mean, he got there in the nick of time.
They put a graft in him. I've been in those surgeries. I've seen them.
I believe so.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So what I'm going to do, does he know that you're asking about me, or you're just doing it on your own?
Well, we've been working together. Let's put it that way. He doesn't know that I'm specifically asking this question tonight, but I have a feeling he would be happy to, because he would be fine with this, just based on these last few months together and their families. We've been friends for 20 years.
Okay. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to connect to you and from you to Dave. And then I'm going to ask his permission, Mary, because I don't ever scan anybody without their permission, because I just don't think it's ethical to do that. I think it's an invasion of privacy.
I agree with you, and we'll respect whatever his response is tonight.
Okay, so I've got you ricocheted down to Dave. All right, Dave, I'm talking to Mary. She wants me to scan you. Is that okay? He's saying yes. Okay, good. All right, so I'm shooting energy from his feet up through the top of his head. I can see where he is full of water. Wow. All right, he looks like the Michelin Man, his energy field. Let me see if I can get some of that to drain. All right, it is an absolute reaction to his meds, Mary.
Okay.
What you want to have him do is Google the name of his medication, like if it's aspirin, just as an example, and then put the numbers NNT at the end of it. So aspirin, NNT. NNT stands for the number needed to treat, and that is the number of people that need to take a medicine in order for it to help one person.
Okay.
These are statistics that have to be done in clinical trials before drug companies get approval from the FDA, the Food and Drug Administration here in this country, or their counterpart in other countries, before they'll let the drug companies sell the medication. I had to do the same thing with my surgical devices that I invented and used to manufacture. We had to do clinical studies. We had to show the efficacy, how effective they were, and provide those statistics to the FDA. So he wants to Google the name of the med, and then NNT. The higher the number needed to treat, Mary, the less effective the medication. So if, let's say, aspirin, just as following our example, the number is 237. that means 237 people need to take that medicine in order for it to help one person. Those odds are really awful.
Okay.
And oftentimes when a patient goes into the doctor and is prepared with that kind of information, they can really have an intelligent discussion with the doctor and say, why am I on this medication? The NNT is 237. Isn't there something that's going to have a better number needed to treat on it that's going to be more effective for me?
Okay.
The other thing I'm getting is if you email me, Julie at AskJulieRyan.com, I will send you a link to a gut biome test. I think it makes sense for him to do this test. You don't need a prescription. He can do it at home. It's a poop test. And I think it makes sense for him to do this test because let's see what his gut biome is. That's where his immune system's based. And let's see, based on his immune system, what the foods are. They're going to be his superfoods. What are the foods for him to avoid? What's everything else? And this test is going to tell us not only what's in his gut, but it's going to tell us these are the foods for you to eat. It may be that some of the things that the dietitian on this standard diet for, bypass patients or whatever, maybe some of those items on that diet aren't good for him to eat based on what his gut biome is. And that can cause inflammation. It can cause water retention. Food is the best medicine. Let's figure out what's going on with that. And that's the best way to do it that I know of.
Thank you. Yeah, so when you take a look at him, you do think the retention and the weight is related to the medicine and possibly the food?
I think it's medicine, and I think he's got food that's causing inflammation and causing water retention. And it's even it's food that's on his diet plan, but it's not necessarily good for him. For instance, when I did this test, and the reason I want you to email me is I'm going to send you a link for half off of the test.
Great.
So it'll save him 50%. But when I did it, Mary, my test results showed that I had some funky tomato virus in my gut. And so every time I ate tomatoes, the virus would do a happy dance and release a bunch of toxins, and the toxins would cause inflammation, and the inflammation would cause symptoms. And so by removing tomatoes from my diet for a few months, that virus was able to die. I was able to poop it out. Sorry, so graphic, but that's just how it works. And then I was able to reintroduce tomatoes. So my guess is between the medicine and the foods he's eating, that's what the water retention and the inflammation is being caused by. His heart looks good. I can see where they put in the graft. I think he looks good in that department. These are just a couple minor tweaks that you can do to help him.
Excellent. Thanks so much.
And anybody that's listening, if you want access to that 50% off on that link, email me, Julie at AskJulieRyan.com, and I'll send it to you. Okay, Miss Mary, thanks for calling. Enjoy your beautiful weather.
Okay. Thanks, Julie.
Okay, take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.
All righty, let's see who's next. I believe it's Erica. Hi, Erica.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. Please tell everybody where you're calling from.
I'm calling from Levittown, Long Island.
All right. What's going on up there?
So I guess I have my question, but it kind of goes in circles.
Okay.
So I met an astrologist last year, and he told me that I had a very psychological chart, as well as a psychic who told me that a couple of years ago. And I've been doing a lot of work, in terms of my journey and awakening, but I just feel like there's a lot of blockage, both physical and emotional. And I was just wondering if you could tell me any more about that.
Okay, blockage in that you're not moving forward with your life, your career, your love life. What in particular are you thinking with blockage?
I guess just not being able to see a clear path or be able to make choices or decisions. I mean, I have a great career, but, I'm not always exactly happy there. And I just kind of get stuck, like, what can I do and where do I go from here? And, I don't know if that definitely plays into some of the pain that I get in my neck and shoulders. I feel like it's all relative. Once I can connect the dots and see it a little more clearly, then I could be able to work from that.
So a couple of things. First of all, consider scheduling a private consult with me, and then we'll have a whole hour to dissect all of this because I think you've got a lot going on. In the meantime, in order for you to get guidance and clear guidance and be able to validate that guidance, you ask a question in your head or aloud if you want. If you ask it aloud and there are a bunch of people around, they may think you're a little nutty, but, whatever. And you preface it, Erica, with, is it in my best interest to? And then finish the sentence. The answer is going to come in within a second into your head because spirits communicate telepathically. When you ask it in that manner, you're asking God, the universe, your spirit guides, your deceased loved ones, your angels, the whole group, and you'll get an answer. Be as specific as you can because spirits are really literal. So the answers are always going to be correct. Where the variability comes in is how do we ask the question? So be as specific as you can. If it's some kind of advice that is going to be life-altering, keep refining down the question and ask it a bunch of different ways to validate the information you're getting. If you think about it for more than a couple of seconds, that's going to be your brain answering you. Okay? So, it's immediate. You ask, is it in my best interest to ... Play with it with stuff that doesn't matter initially. Is it in my best interest to eat this chocolate chip cookie or this oatmeal raisin cookie? Really, it doesn't really matter. Right. So you're going to get an answer and use it for stuff that you can play with it. The more you use it, the more proficient you're going to get, the better guidance you're going to get as you move forward. So in the short run, I think that will help a lot. And could just go to AskJulieRyan.com and schedule a session, and let's chat for an hour, and we'll figure out what's going on medically, if anything, and we'll see if we can get you some clearer information on your path. Okay? Okay. You bet. Thanks for calling. Bye-bye. All righty, let's go to Kim and see if we can get that to go. Hi, Kim. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, good. The computer just got bizarre. Our conference room here just started doing bizarre things. So I don't know what happened there. Yeah, no. What I was going to do was I was going to call back in if needed be, but I'm glad you're there. Where are you calling us from?
I'm calling from the Chicago area.
Okay, terrific. Got a question for me?
I do have a question. But before I do, I just wanted to thank you because I called you a couple weeks ago to ask about my jaw, and I unexpectedly got a healing, and it kind of freaked me out because my jaw moved into a different place, and I just wasn't expecting that. So I just wanted to thank you for that because I can actually chew on that side of my mouth now. I've never been able to do that before.
Yay! Wonderful. Thanks for
that. That was so strange.
Yeah, thanks for letting me know. That's what I was telling Pam, our gal from Columbus, is the healings take place on the energetic level. They're in place. It's just up to the body to catch up with it. Sometimes that's immediate. Sometimes it takes a little bit of time, and sometimes you have to have another procedure, with, like in your case, a dentist or somebody. But thanks for letting me know. I appreciate that.
Yeah, no, thank you. I was not expecting that. But,
terrific.
Well, anyway, thank you for that. My question was, I just wanted to see if I could ask about any possible past life experiences, because I've always felt deja vu in places, or if I'm reading a book set in another time, sometimes I feel like it's like I've been there before. So I've always been curious about that. So I was wondering if you have any insight.
I do. And actually that was our question that was submitted this week. So I was just going to read it after you. So perfect timing, girl, on that. Is there a question in particular that you're interested in if you have a past life that maybe is affecting this life in a certain area?
Yeah.
That's normally how it makes sense to do it just from a time standpoint. What's your question about that?
Well, I did want to see if there's anything in my past that impacts me, because sometimes I'll feel sad all of a sudden and there's nothing sad going on, and I feel like sometimes I'm thinking about things that don't really relate to me, So I was just wondering if I'm just remembering things from another time.
Probably. Children up to the age of about 6 or 7 remember past lives, and then filters start to get put in place at that point, Kim, and they what happens is they don't remember then, and it's primarily so that we don't have our past life experiences that we're cognizant of, because they can affect our current life. But doesn't mean they're not affecting it, but it just is we want to, our soul wants to experience whatever we came to experience in this lifetime, and we build on each lifetime. So what I'm going to do is we'll go and we're going to access all your past lives. And how I do that is I imagine I'm in this very long, endless hallway, Kim, and it has very tall ceilings, maybe 40-foot tall ceilings. And in this hallway, which is very narrow, the walls are covered in 12-inch by 12-inch mirrors, and each mirror represents a different lifetime. And so I envision myself walking down that hallway, and I'm in it right now. So I've connected to you. Now I'm in it right now. And I'm asking, are there any past lives which are affecting Kim's current life in the area of just feeling sadness out of the blue for seemingly no reason? Is that a good way to put it? Sadness in past lives that are affecting this lifetime. So I'm walking down this hallway. All right, so there are a bunch of mirrors that are coming out from the wall, almost as if they're on a hydraulic arm, Kim. And then I'm going to say, all right, show us the one that correlates the most. Okay, it's coming out far on the left, kind of midway up the wall. I'm going to envision myself walking into it. All right, so the year 1797, it's in what now is called Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. So I don't know much about Brazil in 1797, but, it's fun to Google this stuff, because a lot of times we can get historic corroboration on this stuff that we see. A lot of times I'll get names and dates and all kinds of wild stuff that we can validate online. So what happened in okay, so you were in a shipwreck in 1797. You were a man. You were an officer on a ship. It was a British ship, and I think it was sailing to Brazil, probably on some spice route or something like that. And there was a hurricane, and it just absolutely obliterated your ship and tore it apart, tore it into pieces, and you and all the rest of the crew drowned. So, you had a girlfriend in Rio, girl. Huh? How about that?
Oh.
So that's why the sadness. Not so much that you died, but sad that you couldn't be with your girlfriend, because you were going to get to see her. Like you've heard, a woman in every port.
Wow.
That was that lifetime. Yeah, because you got a man in every port.
Yeah, no.
Yeah. So that was that lifetime. What I'm going to do is I'm going to remove that past life memory out of your energy field. Comes out of your pores, looks like royal blue vapor. You look like a big chia pet, and instead of having bean sprouts growing out of your little holes, you have blue vapor coming out of your pores. And so I'm removing that, and then that will help that past life not have an effect on this lifetime. So that's a great example of what happens with past life scans. They're a blast. They are so much fun when we do those. So I hope that helps.
Yeah, I would have never guessed anything like that. Wow.
Yeah, I would Google that. Google 1797 Rio British trade ships. I'm getting that it had to do with the spice, the spice industry, that kind of thing. So that was fun. Thanks for calling in.
Thank you.
You bet. Take care. Bye-bye.
You too. Bye.
All right, we do this show, everybody, every Thursday at 8 Eastern, 7 Central, and 5 Pacific. The call-in number is 712-770-4160, and the access code is 533677#. You can find this information at a bunch of different places. Anywhere you download podcasts, we're on dozens of networks, and it's in the show notes. We're also on Alexa, All you have to say is, Alexa, play Ask Julie Ryan podcast, and Alexa will play that. It's also we're also on YouTube, and you can find it in the show notes there. Sign up for my blog at AskJulieRyan.com. You can submit a question there. And also when you're on my website, sign up for a private session. And then I'll have a whole hour to talk with you, and we can talk about whatever you want. Medical stuff, I can scan your pet. I can scan loved ones with their permission. I'll ask them telepathically like what I did earlier. Past life stuff, I can tell how close to death someone is. If you have a loved one who's dying, we can do spirit guide stuff. I mean, I'm a businesswoman that learned how to do woo-woo, you guys, and I'm a buffet of psychicness. You've heard me say that. So we can do one or any of those as time allows. All right, so speaking of past lives, here's the question that was submitted and was picked for this week. It's called Past Life Companions, and it's from Doug, and Doug lives in Munhall, Pennsylvania. And he said, "Hi, Julie. I've heard you interviewed and am now reading your book, Angelic Attendants, What Really Happens as We Transition from This Life into the Next. It's very good." Oh, thanks, Doug. By the way, any of you listening that have read my book, Angelic Attendants, please leave a review on Amazon because it helps other people find this material. All right, Doug also said, my question is, were the people, in parentheses, family and friends, in our present life now, in our past lives as well? And will they be in our future lives, even if they are in different roles? An example might be, my mother now was my boss 2 lives ago. I hope I'm asking this correctly, and he put LOL in there. Thank you, Doug. And here's my response. Hi, Doug. What a great question. Thanks for your kind comments about my interview and book. The word reincarnation is Latin in origin and literally means entering the flesh again. I thought that was interesting when I was researching this, when I was writing this blog. I went on to say several of the world's great religions, certainly many Eastern religions and philosophies like Hinduism, Jainism, Buddhism, and Sikhism, to name a few, believe in reincarnation, as did ancient Greek figures like Pythagoras, Socrates, and Plato, the Celtic Druids, and some sects of Judaism, evidenced in Hasidic and Kabbalistic texts. As for Christianity, there are scholars who say even the early church espoused reincarnation until 553 AD, when the Second Council of Constantinople rejected it. A 2009 survey by the Pew Forum on Religion and Public Life showed a quarter of Americans believe in reincarnation, and 24% of American Christians expressed a belief in reincarnation. Having said all that, I personally believe all of us have lived countless past lives. Over the years, as I've done many past life scans for clients, I've been able to glean detailed information like dates, places, events, etc., that were later validated with historic documents. It's really fun to explore past lives and how they correlate with / affect our current life. That's what I was just telling Kim. To answer your question, yes, everyone we know in our current life has been in our past lives as well. What we think of as a, quote, soulmate has, in recent history, been portrayed in literature and the entertainment industry as a once-in-a-lifetime romantic love. While this concept sounds good and sells lots of books and movies, it's short-sighted. Everyone in our life, whether a spouse, lover, sibling, teacher, child, friend, acquaintance, etc., is a soulmate. And each one of those people has been in our past lives and will assume a different role in the subsequent lives we share. Hope this sheds some light on a concept many of us have a tough time understanding. So bottom line, you guys, there isn't just one soulmate for us. That's the good news. There are lots of soulmates for us. And it doesn't have to just be a romantic partner, although there are lots of soulmate romantic partners for us as well, which I think is very exciting for people who are looking for their soulmate. And they think, oh, there's only one person for me and I haven't found him yet. Well, guess what? There's more than one person for you, and that person would qualify as a soulmate as well. So there you go. How about that? Okay, let's go to Selena. Hi, Selena.
Hi, Julie.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. Please tell everybody where you're calling from.
I'm calling from Northern California.
Okay, terrific. You got a question for me?
I do. So I'm calling because I'm breaking out in hives. I've had this happen before. It is kind of prolonged. It'll come up in different parts of my body, and when it's happened in the past, if I get a cortisone shot, it'll clear up. So before I do that this time, I'm just wondering if you could scan me to see if anything comes up as to why it's happening and how I can prevent and treat it.
I've got you on my radar. And what came up first, Selena, and I don't even know if you're eating this, but I got peanuts and peanut butter and anything with peanuts in it. And, peanuts are in a lot of things that we're even unaware of. So email me, Julie@AskJulieRyan.com. I'm going to send you a link to that gut biome test. Do that. It's going to be really specific about the foods that are going to be best for you to eat. Like I was telling Mary earlier about that test for her friend. So it's going to tell you what's going to be best for you to eat. It's going to tell you what to avoid. It's just going to cut to the chase and instead of doing the elimination diet, you're going to have it right there. So email me, Julie@AskJulieRyan.com. I'll send you that link, and that'll help a lot. Okay. In the meantime, I've got anti-inflammatory energy on you, and that's going to calm down the inflammation that's going on. And, of course, if you want, schedule a private session and at my site, AskJulieRyan.com, and we can do a really deep dive and see what's going on. But right now I'm getting peanuts and anything related with peanuts. Okay. So, a lot of stuff's manufactured in factories that utilize peanut manufacturing or something with peanuts in it. And so I think that's what's going on.
Okay.
Okay. Thanks, Selena.
You so much.
You bet. Take care. Bye-bye.
Okay, thanks, you too.
And let's see. Next, I believe it's Susie. Hi, Suze.
Hi, Julie. How are you?
I'm good. How are you, girl?
I'm good. I'm listening to my son's game. He's doing so great playing professional baseball. So I have an unusual question this week. I had a situation Saturday where I wanted to have some kind of blessing with my mother, and it ended up that my car, after my meditation class, I got in it and the temperature said minus 36 degrees instead of 90, and all of a sudden after a couple minutes my car started smoking really badly, and I pulled over and I had it towed home, and I did call my mom, and I got to borrow one of their cars, and I had this blessing with my mom, and I thought, well, it's a blessing that my car broke down. But then what's happened is my mechanic can't find anything wrong with the car, and they had it for a couple of days and did all kinds of testing, and so they gave back to me. They didn't charge me anything. So I'm just wondering, can I be trusting that my car is, do you think that my car is fine and it was just a miracle that helped me make up the situation with my mom, or is the car going to, they said, be careful not to drive it too far in case that happened again, because they just have no idea what happened, and it's all fine now. So I'm just wondering if you have any idea about that.
Yeah. Please tell everybody where you're calling in from.
Oh, sorry. San Francisco Bay Area.
Okay. I'm getting it has to do with the carburetor. And
the carburetor.
I don't even know what that means. I mean, I've heard the word, but I'm not an auto mechanic. But I think you need to get a second opinion.
Okay, so carburetor, because it was in the front, but I think carburetor might be in the back. I don't know what the carburetor is. So I'll find out. So okay, so you think there is still an issue with the car? It wasn't just a miracle that made blessings with my mom. Okay.
I think it was probably a miracle that got you there, but I think there's something that's going on. That there's some kind of what I'm seeing is like a little hole in a line, and that's why it started smoking. And there's something there that's maybe it's sealed up on its own, but probably not, and it's probably going to happen again. So I think get it checked again. Get a second opinion.
I just have an extra little thing. Is I went to the dentist and had a filling redone, and last week I had it done, and the Novocaine and everything or whatever wore off after a couple hours, and today it happened at 1, and they said it should be done by 3:30, and it's still totally numb. Is this just going to be longer? Is there anything you see about that? Like it's my whole right side of my lower, lip is just all, the whole face is still numb from is it going to be fine? Because it's just taking so long.
I think it's going to be fine, Suze. It looks numb, like when you press on on a body part and it turns white because the blood flows off. That's what your gums look like right now. But yeah, I think it'll be fine. I think it'll come back and you'll be fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Julie. Appreciate your help.
Great to talk to you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Love you.
Oh, I cut her off. Sorry. Sorry, Suze. All right, let's go to Donna. Donna, let's see if we can get you this time.
Hi, can you hear me?
Hi, I can. I'm sorry. We had some technical difficulties last time.
So I have an interesting question. My friend's wife passed away about a year ago in a couple months, and she had a really tough time leaving. She was very controlling and very fearful, and didn't have much spiritual. There's not a lot of spiritual interest, and but within a month after she passed, this bird has showed up at his bedroom and comes at 5:30 in the morning when he gets up and beats on the window, tap, 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 every single day. And it flies around to the front and looks in the front window. It flies around and sits on one of the rocking chairs that she used to have. It's been over a year, and this bird will not go away. And I've sat out in the backyard with the bird and said, what can I tell you? Everybody's good. We're all, the kids are great. He's doing really well. And I've asked other people about it, and they've been kind of vague about, she just has taken come into a bird spirit, but it's gotten to the point where, the bird poops all over the deck, and it's annoying, now after this long. And so I was wondering if you could, maybe get some insight. And the woman's name is Renee, and I was just wondering if there's something.
And what's
going
her husband's
on.
name? What's her husband's name, Donna?
Jim.
Jim. And what kind of bird is it?
It's a little sparrow, like a little black and brown, just nothing big just a little sparrow that just is a cute little thing, but like I said, it almost knocks itself out trying to get into the house. I mean, it beats on the window, like tapping, 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 and throws itself against the window.
Wow. Trying to get his attention, obviously. Okay.
Well, he talks to it. I told him to talk to it, the bird, and say, hey, I'm okay, everything's good, it's okay, because in the beginning he didn't understand anything because he doesn't know any about this stuff. But I picked up on it because I do a lot of work like this, so I picked up on it, and so I've been trying to just say it's okay and everything's good, but it doesn't seem to want to go away, and I think it might be stuck and hasn't been able to transcend yet.
Tell me
That's
where.
What I think.
Tell all of us where you're calling from, please.
Well, I don't want to tell too. I don't. It's private, so California.
How about state? Okay.
Yeah, California. California. Yeah.
All right. So I'm
because there's a lot of people around our community that would not understand this at all. So there would be a lot of judgment about this. So I didn't want to say anything because I know one of the people that constantly calls in here, and I didn't want to be, constantly. It's a private thing. So anyway.
So the bird is coming from Renee.
Yeah, maybe it's someone else. Someone else died in the house too.
It's not Renee. People don't turn into birds.
No, it's a spirit. It's an energy. Yeah.
That's by Renee. How old are Jim's kids?
Oh, grown, 40. And she has had a new baby, so yeah.
Okay.
And she's got a granddaughter that's there, so. But she's very attached to it. Didn't want to leave, did not want to leave at all. So.
Yeah, it's a bird coming from Renee, and I think instead of it being a nuisance, have him change his perspective of how he's looking at it and look at it as a miracle and a blessing, And
no, he does. He does.
Yeah.
He does. He's definitely.
I think it'll go from there. Yeah.
But it hasn't changed in over a year.
Yeah. What a blessing.
You got anything else? I know, but how long is this going to go on?
Why does it matter? It's a blessing. Why would you want a blessing to stop?
Well, because like I told you, it wakes him up every morning at 5:30, and it poops all over the deck a lot, and it's been a long time. I'm not there, so it doesn't bother me.
Yeah, I'm going to have to run. I'm going to have to run, Donna, because we're about out of time. But have him change his perspective, even on that part, and look at it as a blessing. And I think it's going to take care of itself.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Thanks for calling. You bet. Bye-bye. Okay, everybody. That is it for this week. We are out of time. What a treat to get to talk to everybody. For those of you that I didn't get on, please call back next week, and I'll do my best to get you on. And hope everybody has a wonderful weekend. Follow me at Ask Julie Ryan on Instagram, Ask Julie Ryan on Facebook. Schedule your private appointments at AskJulieRyan.com. Everything else to find, AskJulieRyan.com. By the way, my next training class starts July 13th. I've got a few spots left. If you're interested in that, check that out online. And in the meantime, I'll talk to you next week. Thanks, everybody. Take care. Bye-bye.
Thanks for joining us. Be sure to follow Julie on Twitter at AskJulieRyan and like her on Facebook at AskJulieRyan. For information on how you can ask Julie your question, please visit AskJulieRyan.com.